Hello and welcome to a new Storytime Sunday. Today it's gonna be spooky.
Ooh, so we're talking about PS2, PS1, PS2?
Old retro games.
Old retro
I
games.
think it was PS1 and PS2.
Probably.
And first up, we are talking about...
Koudelka.
Okay, Koudelka. Koudelka was...
It was my brother's favorite game. Back then, you always played it.
I liked it because it looked...
I was always scared.
It looked pretty good. The intro cutscene was super pretty from the art style.
Okay.
But creepy. So the game was actually
I
a
didn't like it.
horror,
Yes.
tactical, turn-based RPG with a grid system.
Yeah, it was Japanese, right?
I think so. I think it was Square, but I'm not sure.
Square Enix?
And a fun fact is, the game actually wanted to consist of a trilogy, but the game sold pretty bad and only had one game.
I remember that we had several CDs.
It had 4 discs.
4, I remember like 7.
No, the game had 4
It was
discs.
so many layers in this.
And yeah, the game was pretty creepy, horror setting, and Koudelka was a medium who was looking for for something, and she visited the old monastery.
Oh.
At first, the player thinks it's abandoned, but later
It is not.
later we meet team members first. I think already at the beginning we meet Edward, who was struggling against a monster. But Edward and a pastor, priest, are not the only people there, and the monsters are also not the only things there. There's an old couple living in the monastery. They were the ones who tried to poison us.
Oh, nice of them.
They served
I
us-
remember them. They served us dinner.
They were like, "Oh, you're so nice. We are so nice. We serve you dinner."
Don't trust.
And Koudelka
Old people.
noticed the poison because she's smart.
This.
And there was a ghost girl manipulating Edward to walk into a
Wow,
pit.
Edward is such a victim here.
Kinda. Do you remember Koudelka? It was a pretty game, but actually a bit overlooked and underrated, I think, and a hidden gem in my opinion.
Yeah. Another very, 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 very spooky game for me was
For me too.
Echo Night Beyond.
On PS2 actually.
Yeah, it was PS2. A single player?
I think so.
Yeah.
But we played it together.
We always played games together, like
Plane
play.
Crash.
Yeah, okay. I want
Or
to say
it was
this.
space. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it was in space and
But
it was
he,
a
but he
stage,
had an
but it was
suit, like
space. Or-
space suit.
I don't remember.
It was like
It
don't
looked like
know.
an interior from a plane.
yeah.
I remember that. But it could also be a space station because it looked pretty futuristic somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I know that the guy had not usual clothes on it, but he wore like a suit which was
But it-
guarding him
But
from
it was
something.
first person.
Yeah, I remember like and one scene I remember very vividly. It's like we're going up a stairs. It was all dark,
Yeah, super
and
dark.
we have a watch on us or some medical device that is monitoring our pulse, our heart rate. And if we're going while going up the stairs, our heart is racing. It's racing so much. Yeah, we had to step down, and something was up there that was scary. It was so frightening that we had to stop going up, because if we
But we had to go up.
we
It was a
had to
target.
go up. Yeah, it was a target, but we
A few years ago, I watched a Let's Play, and I know the reason why the heart is racing so much, because there was a ghost sitting in the hallway in the upper floor.
could you see it?
Only when you get close to it.
Another game which just came to my mind is Dino Crisis. I think it was on PS1,
Yeah.
and of course the graphics are not what it's now.
But sometimes people think this is what makes the old games spooky, because you couldn't really
Yeah.
tell what it's showing to you.
Yeah, and we had to survive and got out of the laboratory.
Yeah, they were really good, the AI actually.
Yeah, and it
I-
was really fast.
I remember one scene, I was in the vent,
Oh
and it was
my
a vent where you
gosh.
could stand. you had to go around corners, and one time I went went around the corner, and a raptor was waiting around it.
Like an innocent
and,
child.
and I was so scared. And sometimes you even could, when you were in the vents, there are like grids you could watch through.
Oh my god.
Venting,
And they were under
and you could see them walking down on the corridors.
Oh my gosh, it's so scary. Yeah.
And we had to find key cards because a lot of doors were locked.
I remember those damn key cards.
Another
They
thing I
can be scary
remember
again.
was you were walking outside, fences on both sides, nothing happened. You go to a building, took something or did something and went back, and then the fence was broken.
The fence was broken, yeah. I thought it was like from the Jurassic Park. Yeah. What are your scariest dinosaurs?
Were you also afraid of those old PS1, PS2 games? Do you
Yeah.
remember these games?
Or what's more important, do you know other spooky PS1 and PS2 games? Then let us know in the comments.